this is Yana again. If you saw my last video, you'll be aware that this is a continuation of an ongoing little project of mine, just studying, taking notes with me. So this is, of course, Whisper ASMR, but also with note-taking. These particular notes are on the language Esperanto, and I am taking notes based off of a post made by the Tumblr user la-purpuro, and it was basically a little project talking about how you can speak a language with really only 200 to 300 words. So I was writing down notes from their list. Last time we did the adjectives and words used as adjectives, as you can see and may recall. This time we are going over the adverbs and words that may be used as adverbs. So I'm just going to go ahead and note those down. That is what I'm doing today for 16 to 20 minutes. And just sit back and enjoy or follow along, whichever may be the case. The link should be in the description down below. If it is not, click on the Tumblr link in the banner or get it from the description, and the post will be reblogged there as well. So without further ado, I will go ahead and start on this. Thank you so much for watching. So, a lot, molte, a little malmolte, and as you can see, probably already see, words that are just outright meant to be an adverb end in E, words that are outright meant to be an adjective end in A. There's a good example, bona, and you can actually even compare bona and bone, just so you know. But yeah, let's keep going. Oh, the other thing I want to address, which we did address in the last video, is you can see how you form opposites by adding mal. Anyway, well, bone. Oh, it's actually the next word. That's really funny. Badly malbone. All right. I lost my place. Hold on. More blue. And then let's see. Better plebone. Play parte mostly. Alright, enough suffice, which makes a lot of sense when you think about the word suffice. Even edge. Very tre. Tro. And that's T-O-O. And actually, let me use this opportunity to clear this up while we are talking about it, since so many people do this and it drives me bonkers. Because sometimes it happens by accident, it's a typo, or they're talking really quickly when they're typing something and they don't have time to think it through. But some people, they've had time to edit something multiple times, and they've had time to receive comments multiple times, and they just don't want to hear it. Two and two are all different. They have different meanings and different spellings, even though they sound the same. So TWO, that's obviously the number. TOO, also, as well, you know, he has a dog too, would be the same as he also has a dog, or he has a dog as well. And then there's just T-O, and they're all different. They all have different meanings. They are all used differently, but people will use them interchangeably, and sometimes it just drives me nuts. Because again, if it's an accident, or you're just talking quickly and it, you know, slips out, that's different than, you know, you're doing this repeatedly over time, even when people have tried to help you out and correct you. So, yeah, I had to, might be traumatized. And I'm allowed to make that joke because I'm actually, you know, dealing with trauma. But anyway, not from that, but like, oh, it's just one of my pet peeves. Anyway, also as alcohol, well, you can't mix them up in this language at all. Only as nur. Now is nun. Here is chi tie. I'm sorry, this E looking a little wild over here, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe is eble. Always is chum. Alright, sometimes yum. Or foy foye. I do not have room for that. I'm gonna have to put on the next line. Okay, today is Oldial. I love how my diacritic marks be looking crazy. But I didn't want to be one of those people who uses the X's when I'm taking notes, because that's just confusing for people. Like if you're not like typing or something, you're just taking notes, and the X's can confuse people. Basically, not everyone has access to the proper keyboard to make the diacritic marks when they're typing. So they'll sometimes put an X in the word where you would use the letter with the, you know, like this, or this, like this would have, they would use a normal C, then put an X, then put the I. Yeah. They'll do that a lot. But when I'm just writing it out, when I can clearly just put the mark myself, even if it do be looking crazy, it doesn't make sense to use the X's, because that would just confuse people. They're gonna be like, is this French? Like, no, baby, it's not French. I actually really like this owl sound. I don't know why. Tomorrow is mock owl. as well as my friend. Mi ankaŭ manĝis matenmanĝon. I also ate breakfast, e.g. as well as kote. Mi manĝis ankaŭ matenmanĝon. I also ate breakfast, e.g. as well as lunch. So the next section is nouns, and that is frankly huge. Oh, yeah, that's huge. So I'm gonna see how much time we have left. We have 11 minutes. Can we finish that in 11 minutes? That's a lot. We might be able to. I feel like, actually, can we? We might be able to squeeze it in. We gonna see. But what they have on the end, they basically tell you how to make plurals, which is using the J. I'm putting air quotes around it. J. It's used like the English Y, so like it would be pronounced the way you would pronounce the Y in yes if you were speaking English. So that's how you pluralize it. You put a J on the end, and if the noun takes the accusative ending, the N comes after the J, e.g. domoin, which makes sense because it wouldn't be pronounceable if you put the N first, so. It also tells you how to make learning vocabulary easier because many words are made up of subwords. Their words, not mine, but it's I'm just saying what it says. But yeah, there is a little bit of sexism built into it, which makes sense given when it was created and the fact that most languages have sexism built into them. Anyway, for instance, patrino. Think about it. So, patro is father, patrino is mother, and gepatroi, wow, there we go, gepatroi, that's your parents. So it's like, it's just, they derive wife from husband, they derive woman from man, like it's it is bothersome. Some people have worked around that. If you don't care about the grammar police telling you whether or not you can do it, is they have made up the icho ending. So it would be I, the C with the hat, basically the che, and an O. So they will say that icho is male, that ino stays feminine, and that the word without either ending is neutral, is how they'll do it. But in traditional Esperanto, the word with just the like quote-unquote normal O ending is usually male and usually set as default. And then they'll derive female from it by making it ino instead of just O. So like patro, patrino, filo, filino, etzo, etzino, and so on. But if you care about making languages less inherently sexist in their build, then you can start incorporating the icho. Just be warned, some people may really like to be grammar police and will tell you like that's not traditional Esperanto and that therefore it must be wrong. But people who don't care about whether or not it's traditional, you can use it that way. I'm just giving you options and also telling you how people will react to those options. But I thought I would give you options. I also just realized I could cut into our time even more. So that's going to be interesting. Maybe I should talk about something else. Also, I misspoke. It's gepatro, not gepatroi. Because you don't have to pluralize it because the ge is what marks it as it marks it as like what's the word? Collective in a sense. It's saying it's all your parents, all any gender parent. Yeah, anyway. It's the way it's currently set up is not the greatest. I really don't see a reason why you can't reform it, especially if you are talking amongst your friends or your local, if you're talking amongst your friends or your comrades or your local Esperanto group or your local activist group or your local group chat, what have you. I really don't see why you can't do it the other way. Is it traditional? No. But it is an alteration that is well known enough on the internet and potentially in Esperanto groups that it is, mentioned like on the Wikipedia and forums, things like that. That doesn't mean it was built as a part of the official or traditional language, but people who had issues with it did come up with that. Speaking of which, when we get to pronouns, there are actually several ways to kind of express a gender other than male or female. So we will talk about that when we run into that. Oh, might as well talk about it now. So yeah, we're already at 16 minutes. There's no way we're going to be able to get the noun word list that they gave. They handpicked a few. It's not all the nouns in the language, obviously. They were just like, you know what? These ones seem important / common, so let's do those. And that's what they did. They selected them, not me. So it looks like the nouns is actually, besides the question words and the pronouns, that's actually pretty much all of the list they made. I mean, they also tell you how to make direct objects, but we already discussed that at least 2 times. And I'll just read off: to make a pronoun possessive, e.g. my, add the a adjective ending before the accusative if necessary. So we just talked about possessive. We've talked about direct objects multiple times. Reflexive, when referring to the subject of the sentence a second time, the word sie is used instead of she, li, ji, ili. It's modified in the same way as other pronouns. Bob iris en sian doman. Bob went into his own house. Li iris en lian doman. He went into someone else's house. So that's how they explained it. But basically, the pronouns. I can probably write this down here, to be honest. They have I, you, she, he, it, we, they. So it, we, they, and then I'll talk about what people tend to do for gender neutral. So me, you is fee, she is, well, she is just spelled differently. Then he is Lee. Then it is G. Then we is knee. Then they is Ely. Okay. So, a lot of people, when they want to talk about themselves when they're non-binary, or if they just want to respect a non-binary person's pronouns and the non-binary person doesn't use he or she, some non-binary people choose to use she, it, which people who speak English also do that. But yeah, people who speak Esperanto, sometimes they will use she as their pronoun. Usually that's used for like, in Esperanto, when it's applied to humans, it's used for babies. But I don't see any reason that it can't be used for non-binary people if that's what they want you to use as their pronoun. So, like, just respect pronouns. It's not hard. You could use they the same way you would in English, so Ely. However, where was I going with this? Yeah, I got nothing. Okay, anyway, so you could use G, you could use Ely, and there is also re, which I have seen people use as a gender-neutral pronoun. It's not included on this list because some people don't like it, but honestly, if someone is transphobic, they're going to find a way to dislike the pronoun you picked anyway. Like if you pick G, they'll say it's not used for adult humans. If you pick Ely, they'll say that it's plural. If you pick re, they'll say that it's not real or obsolete or whatever. Like, they'll find a way to not like it. So just use whatever pronoun works the best for you. Whatever pronoun works the best with your gender identity and your staves off your oh gosh, what's the word? Dysphoria. Wow. I just completely blanked. I'm sorry. My brain was saying something totally wrong. It was saying dyspraxia, which is hilarious because that's nowhere near the type of word I was trying to use. It has nothing to do with dysphoria, like, at all. I was like, what? That's not related. Anyway, yeah, so just use the one that works best for you. Whether that is she, Lee, G, Ely, re, or something else. Anyway, next time I'll cover nouns and question words and word order. And that's it for their list. So, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.